everyone, this is me, the review on this Odachi size Bokken from Blizniak Bokkens. This Bokken was actually sent to me for free for review, but I'm going to be as unbiased as possible when reviewing this Bokken. This is a very nice Bokken. The balance is really good. As you can see, it's more towards the middle, of course, because it is a Bokken, but the weight is not bad at all. The thickness is a good size. This Bokken responds extremely well, as you can see. Extremely well. There is no problem with it. It's a very nice Bokken, not too tip heavy at all. For those of you with smaller hands, you can see now I have large to extra large hands, and you'll notice that my finger here is going all the way to my knuckle right there. So this is definitely a good size for those of you who have smaller hands. The material is very durable. It has nicks and things in it, but of course you're gonna have that from use. There's no splintering, nothing like that. The grain, as you can see, is very close to being completely vertical. So that's good for strength. The spine doesn't have a sharp shape to it, which makes it very durable. For the length, this one here has a 36.5-inch blade and a 16.25-inch scoop. But these can be made as long as you want them, up to 5 feet. So he can make the blade as long as you want, he can make the scoop as long as you want, as long as it is 5 feet or less overall length. So from end to end, 5 feet or less. On this particular one, he rounded the kashra for me because he knows that I prefer a rounded kashra because of another video I did. So if you want that on your Bokken, which I highly recommend, he can do that for you, no problem. He also made it so that the kisaki, which is the point, isn't too pointed. I've never liked Bokkens that have extremely sharp points because, quite honestly, I find them unsafe and honestly kind of contradictory to have a sharp point on a wooden training sword. This particular one is made of ipe, but it can be made of a great variety of woods. If you check out his website, he has a complete list of woods that he can make these out of. To name a few of the woods that he can make these out of, he can of course make them out of ipe. He can make them out of oak, hickory, cocobolo, lignum vitae, bloodwood, and there's many other woods to choose from as well. He also sells these subas right here, which are made of a recyclable material. They are very durable. Only issue that I had with this is I found that with use, it was sliding down. But that's not a huge problem. Put a suba stopper on that side. I put that there just to balance out the look. But other than that, it doesn't really need this one right here. It just needs that one. But keep in mind, depending on your style, you may not have that problem. In my style, there's times that we take and we slide down the blade and we hit the suba. So for me, it might be a bit harder for that suba to stay in place unless you have a definite shoulder for the suba to rest against. This here, of course, is made to resemble an Odachi, but this can easily be a dandao or a miaodao, which is a Chinese two-handed saber that is very similar. And if you specifically need something that is more like a dandao, which would be straighter here and curved more towards the end, he might be able to do something for you. So give him an email. If he can't do it, this here, it does not have a drastic curve to it. This here is the standard Bokken shape, so it's not too curved. It's nothing drastic at all. This is basically your standard shape, just as the name implies. But he can also make a tachi shape, which has a much deeper curve to it. And there are other styles of Bokken that he can do as well. He can also do different point shapes. So if you like a sharper point, which of course I don't, but if you do, you can do that as well. The finish that he does on these Bokkens is very good. Normally I end up putting tape or string or something else on the handles of my Bokkens. On this one, I haven't found it necessary. So that's very good. The finish that he does, it's very grippy. When you sweat, it doesn't produce a slick surface to grip onto. But of course, if you need to, you could still do tape or string or whatever you want. I find that gripping surface is very much a personal preference. So for me, will I be adding tape or string or anything to this handle? I don't think I will, because it's quite grippy, and to me, wrapping a Bokken handle in string or tape, to me, normally is, it's there to serve a purpose, not just for looks. So more than likely, I'm not going to wrap this in anything. There's no point to it. But if I did, I would probably wrap this in paracord, and I would wrap it in a Chinese style, just to make something different. Yes, it's a Japanese sword, but hey, why not? The price on these is very much subjective, because it depends on what you want. If you want a different kind of wood, then it may cost a different price. If this were shorter, it wouldn't cost as much. If this were longer, it would cost more. So it's very much subjective upon what it is that you want, the wood, the length, etc. For the price, I find this to be a very good Bokken and highly recommended. Another thing that I like is, as you'll notice right there, he has his logo right there. The Tsuba shape is also his design. It's basically made to look very similar to the logo. For the Tsuba shape also, once again, Tsuba shape can be subjective as well. This is actually a bit larger than a standard Tsuba. It just doesn't look like it because of the shape. For me, I would prefer if it were bigger, but I'm pretty sure that if you wanted something like that, he could probably do that for you if you wanted a bigger Tsuba. For most people, this would be fine. Keep in mind, I have big hands, so that is also going to be dependent on the size of your hands. So, if you want a Bokken like this size and everything, then definitely be sure to email them. I find this is worth every penny. If I had to buy one of these personally, I would buy it. Another thing that I like is that this here is made in America. So you're helping support an American job, which I like very much. So that's pretty much it. If you're looking for one of these size Bokkens, don't hesitate to shoot Dan Blizniak an email. I'm sure he will be more than happy to help you. If you need a ska made longer than 16 inches, shoot him an email. Of course, there's no harm in asking him to make the ska longer, and I can't imagine it being too much more difficult to make the ska longer than this. So that's pretty much it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!